Well, the next generation of Manitoba musicians will be descending on Portage la Prairie this weekend for the Provincial Music and Arts Festival. A wide variety of disciplines, instruments, and genres will be represented at Mackenzie United Church. Ainslie Milley and Bruch-Wiens from the Associated Manitoba Arts Festivals join us in the Classic 107 studios to break down what audiences can expect this weekend in Portage la Prairie. Nice to see you both.
Nice to see you as well, Nolan.
Thank you for having us.
Have you, first of all, first question to the both of you, have you recovered from the Winnipeg Music Festival? Because that was 3 weeks of mayhem.
Have we recovered,
We
Ainsley?
have.
I think so.
Okay.
We took some time off and got some sleep-ins in there.
Okay, well, there we go. Quite something to, I would imagine, manage this weekend, which is just one day concentrated instead of 3 weeks. Maybe we can start with you, Ainsley. What does the provincial festival look like for somebody hoping to swing by Mackenzie United in Portage la Prairie?
Oh, it's going to look like 7 fabulous senior musicians who play a variety of instruments, vocalists, pianists, a euphonium player,
Whoa.
a violin player, and they're going to share their talents with us that they've worked so hard on for so many years.
Fantastic. Maybe we can also speak a bit to the geography of all of this as well. Why? How does the provincial music festival switch through different places in, well, the province as the years switch over?
Well, AMAF is an umbrella organization. So we help local festivals, our member festivals, put on their festival. So we provide resources and they will call us for advice and all of that stuff. So the performers need to qualify for provincials by being in at least 2 classes, and then they get recommended to provincials.
Okay, so that's how somebody qualifies to be a part of this weekend's festivities. Maybe you can give us a sense, Ainsley, of the demographics here. We talked about the wide range of instruments, but how far away are people coming from to participate in this weekend's showcase?
So there are participants from Brandon, Winnipeg, and as far away as Lac du Bonny.
All right. A nice wide spread going into the white shell there for sure. Dawn, you've been speaking to us a lot in the last month and change about the benefits of competing in the Winnipeg Music Festival, in addition to the actual festival logistics itself. And you talk about the benefits of being a part of a competition like that. What can you tell us about what happens when the stakes are sort of raised to a provincial level, never mind being a part of a local festival?
Well, these performers are getting exposed to a whole new community. These are new colleagues. They get to be adjudicated by a panel. So we have fabulous adjudicators, Lara Chekovich, Jennifer Thiessen, and Annika Workington. So they will hear all of these performers. The stakes are high, but we also want to provide a welcoming atmosphere. So we have a reception after, and that's actually where the awards are going to be announced. So we want this to be a celebration of their talents. And there is time to workshop as well. So there'll be like a little mini masterclass after they perform, and then we can go eat treats and celebrate them. So
That sounds like fun. I mean, you had me at treats.
Yeah.
Maybe you can speak a bit more to the adjudication and how that looks given the range of the adjudicators. You have a singer, you have a string player, and you have a pianist. How does that work, for instance, if there is a euphonium player, to cite your example from before, Ainsley? How does that sort of adjudication work, and what sort of insight can those adjudicators then provide?
Well, I've talked to Lara and Jennifer quite a bit about this, and they will, Lara knows all about breathing and all about phrasing and, just being an amazing musician. And Jennifer, she's so accomplished, and her experience is so varied that she has lots of experience with brass players, and she's the artistic director of Virtuosi. So she's very into the music scene. So they will talk about style, phrasing, all of that stuff. Maybe not, technique because
Sure.
no one wants to overstep that. But there will be lots of takeaways from our panel for sure.
You mentioned also the scholarships before that will be handed out at the aforementioned treat reception afterwards. Ainslie, maybe you can walk us through some of the awards that these participants are vying for.
They're vying for scholarships. On behalf of the AMAF, we are donating those scholarships up to $500, I believe.
I believe so. That's to be confirmed, but around that range, yeah.
Okay.
So it's an opportunity to reward them for their hard work and also to encourage them on their journeys as musicians as they are emerging into this field.
So this is just one part of that journey, not only for students, but also for the Associated Manitoba Arts Festivals, with one other event coming up later on this month. What can you tell us about the events taking place at the Brandon University School of Music coming up near the end of May, maybe?
Well, there are over 380 registrations from all over the province.
Holy smokes.
Students as young as maybe 6 or 7, all the way up to 23 or 24, I believe. And they're getting a chance to network with other people from other rural organizations as well as city organizations. And it's an opportunity for them to not only show off their hard work, but also meet other people like them.
Wonderful. We talked a little bit about this before, Dawn, in previous conversations, but what do students take away from this level of competition into the sort of next steps in their musical development?
Well, I think they take away getting additional feedback. So the piece that they're recommended for at their local festival, they get to perform that again. So there's only growth happening. And as you know, Nolan, we learn so much from performing. So that's like 100 hours of practicing, according to Laura Lowen at the University of Manitoba. So
I'm sure she's listening. So I'm sure she's proud.
So it's an opportunity to grow, but it's also an opportunity for them to get additional feedback on these pieces. For the solo categories, they get to perform 2 pieces back to back, 2 contrasting pieces. So it really it does raise the stakes for those classes because it's a different animal when you have to perform 2 in a row versus just the one in the one class. So it's also an opportunity to champion Canadian music, to champion Mozart. We have Bach scholarships. There's so many ways to celebrate their music making. And again, it's a celebration. It's not an elite thing. It's just a way for us to come together and make music.
So maybe it's too soon to think about this, and maybe I'll throw this to whoever wants to answer it. But as we, again, building off of conversations that we had on about the Winnipeg Music Festival and ways that it will continue to grow in the coming years, what sorts of things are you looking for at the provincial festival level to say, hey, maybe we can acknowledge this type of musician or this type of music making on this kind of stage? I'm throwing a bit of a crystal ball question at the both of you.
Well, I did mention this in our last interview, but I really want to champion underrepresented composers. I always get so excited when there's a Black female composer or a female composer at all, or an Indigenous. We have speech art, so we have Katharina Vermette in our speech arts repertoire.
Wow.
And you know, I love her, and she's such a wonderful author. So it's so wonderful to see her poetry on these registration forms. So I would love to see more diversity just in the festival movement.
Okay. Ainslie, maybe we can get to some brass tacks here for people who want to come see that next generation of Manitoba talent. How can people get their tickets? How can people come and watch these amazing talents from across the province in Portage?
So in Portage la Prairie, the tickets will be sold at the door. They're $10 at Mackenzie United Church, which is at 85 11th Street Northwest, I believe.
Off the top of your head, you did that. That was impressive.
And there's a 2 p.m. session and a 7 p.m. session.
Wonderful. Well, we'll look forward to seeing.
And it's $10 for the entire day. So you can go to the 2 p.m. session and then eat treats with us go chill, and then come back.
Low cost of entry to see that next talent emerging before they get even more expensive, I think.
Yes.
Exactly.
Dawn Bruch-Wiens and Ainslie Milley, thank you so much for joining us in the Classic 107 studios to tell us more about the Provincial Music and Arts Festival.
Thank
you
so
for
much.
having us.